Hello, I'm Eddy Clemons, Chairman of the Covington City School Board, lifelong resident of the area. I'd like to take this opportunity to address City Council concerning an effort to form a strong and trusting relationship between the Covington City School Board and the City of Covington and the City Council. First, I'd like to thank the city for its support of our school system. We've got a great system that we all need to be proud of. A major stumbling block for all of us is always the funding, and it's a major effort on everybody's part. I would like to discuss some planning to maybe make that easier on everybody. Council and the city officials should not have to spend a lot of other time working on the school board budget. You all have got enough to do without worrying about our budget. You're going to do funding for sure, but you've got a lot of time that has been spent on our budget in the past that hopefully that could be minimized. There's a lot of time that is spent in discussing details and things. There are times that city officials have seen the need to discuss our budget with employees and folks on the street. You all have had lots of debates, and we've had meetings together concerning our budget. I would like to think that council could determine the funding that is budgeted to the school board, and the school board should be entrusted to spend the funds wisely. You all appoint us to do a job, and our job and responsibility is to run the school system. Now, I've given you all, I don't know if you have time to read or not, but there's just some input about my discussion and why I'm here, and some numbers and things that are in there. But the school board works diligently on our budget. And do we do it perfect? No, we don't. Nobody does, but we work hard with it. And we've been able to have just an incredible school system with your all's help and a lot of work on our folks' part. The school board should be trusted to spend the funds in proper fashion. If there were any misuse of funds or anything, we do have an audit at the end of the year that would be exploited. So, hopefully a trust factor could be built there. So that being said, on behalf of the Covington City School Board, I would like to request the consideration of the Covington City Council to form a written agreement with the Covington City School Board concerning budget allocation. The annual budget allocation will be based on a set percentage of particular revenues established by the city. Included in this agreement would be the appropriation to the school board of any additional funds allocated to the school board by the federal government, state government, or any other entity, as well as the reappropriation of any unspent funds by the school board. Your consideration will be greatly appreciated on this, and for some of you all, you can recall we set out a few years ago to put a plan almost identical to this in place. And at this point, I would like to see us be able to come together with I hate to say a foolproof, because you can always vote to change things, but I just think it would make life easier on everyone out there. You're all going to come up with a number that's going to be a pretty consistent, that may go up and down with revenues. We were told that and discussed that before. But at least it's a definitive number, and if we are able to save money, then we can keep that money. And if the state decides for any reason to send us an additional package of money, then hopefully that money could go to the schools where it's intended. So, that plan that we talked about before is pretty close to what I've got in writing, and I think it could make life easier on all of us and cut down on lots and lots of hours that are spent on the budget. As we talk about that, and coming into the night, I'm going to try to keep everything short, I'd also like to request for sure that the 45,911 that has been requested, that would be reappropriated for sure, and possibly the entire $101,000. That was money that we saved last year. So that was money that you all had appropriated to us, and we were able to save. So, there are things that we could spend that for. The 45,000 has already been earmarked. We've got asbestos and parking lots and lots of maintenance items that we're looking at that we could use that money to. The other thing, as you're working on budget, and I understand it's a very complicated time right now, a term that's come up in the past quite a bit has been level funding. And sometimes, Years ago, there was lots of negotiation for more money, and that took hours of negotiations, and there are times that, hey, you're going to get level funding, and that's it. And if level funding becomes an issue this year, I would like for you all to remember that level funding, I would hope, would go to a previous year than last year, because at the last minute, as your needs came about, our budget was cut actually $150,000 from what you had originally allocated to us. So at that point in I think May, we're scrambling to modify our budget to compensate for the $150,000. So if the level funding were to become a subject, then I would like for that to go back maybe a year and look at level funding, or at least do the, before the cuts of last year. So, at this point, I just want to thank you all for your time and consideration. If you all have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. If any of y'all want to meet with me with discussions of questions, certainly do that. We just need to remember, we've got a great school system, and a good thing about our school system is it's successful and it's growing. And with growing, costs are growing. And sure, we get some additional funds, and the state is really, really tough and how they give us additional money sometimes too. And we've had those discussions, as you mentioned, matching funds, that's a really sad story how they do that. Yet they get the publicity of saying they're giving teachers raises, and that's just a part of the story. So, lastly, I'd say that the biggest thing we can do, however this works out, is try to build a strong relationship together. We've been almost there, and that's what we need. And it would be great if we could show everybody out there that we've got these groups that can work together. Thank you all.
Thank you, Eddy.
Okay.